in his constituency in Ibadan.
And
they took the generator there. And the youth said, before you can,
transformer.
Before you put the transformer down, which is for their own benefit and growth, you have to settle them. Now, that's not an enlightenment issue. That is a poverty of the mind issue. That is a poor mindset issue. That is an issue of a degraded mindset that would not help this country if it continues.
Sorry. Okay. Just to close what he has just said, it is an enlightenment issue. And why would I say that? I've always said, and I've always opined that our sense of value will always be going to be tied to the level of exposure and education. People, our freedom is defined in its depth by the level of our exposure. So if you don't know that, staying in a burglary-proof house is prison, nobody can save you from that place. That's precisely what we're saying. So it's enlightened.
Okay, so I think rather than just say we're not enlightened, whether or not we're enlightened, whether we don't understand, there's just a gap. Like we can just say we have a knowledge gap. Like there is some kind of knowledge that people should have, and then they don't have it. So that's like a safe place for us to draw this conclusion. We all agree on that.
Absolutely.
But Dayo, when you were talking, you kept mentioning the names of people who fought so hard for the Nigeria that we have today, the likes of Gani Faromi and the likes.
Of course, and
but
the likes
wait,
of
I'm
Joe
coming
Dumaki.
for you. I'm coming for you because I didn't hear you mention.
Babe.
I know, but I didn't hear you mention any woman in
No,
this.
Joe Dumaki is a woman. Ayo Babe is a woman. I got you.
The point is that you mentioned more males than they were actually females in this case. So now my point is that every time we're trying to make policy, you always try to go to the root. Because right now, the national gender policy says that it should be 35-65 representation. So can we blame where we're coming from to explain the current representation of women? We're talking about gender inclusion in this case. Can what happened in the past explain why we're where we are today? The fact. So, Khadija, what's your perspective towards that? How do we explain the fact that we don't have enough gender representation, like female representation in politics and in government today?
I wouldn't say it's because we don't have the interest. I wouldn't say it's because we don't have the interest. I would say it's because, yes, from where we're coming from, I would say the system has been set up in a way that doesn't really favor or give women the same opportunities that men have in terms of getting the support you need, in terms of having the same access and the same routes and channels of communications that are open to men. I would say we're getting there. We're getting there, but if you look at even from cabinet representation, if you look at representation in the legislature, if you look, so you have a lot, especially in this election, you have a lot of women that will come out at the beginning. You actually have women that usually come out, and then somewhere along the line, they start dropping. I don't know if they're being pacified with some, I don't know what happens, but somehow you just notice that they start dropping out. They start dropping out, and then maybe at the end of the day, for the aesthetics, you will still have one strong candidate that's there and still pushing the for women. There was which election? I think it was a primaries, one of the PDP primaries way back. This lady, the Taraba lady.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Mama Taraba.
And I think she got 1 vote or something back then. And to me, it was like, wait, how does that happen? That to me was the ultimate representation of there's a problem. So we have moved away from the era of, women being relegated to, we're nurturers, we take care of the home and all of that, but I think we've moved away from that time where we're just relegated to the other room. And we're taking better, we're making more strides in terms of representation, but we haven't gotten there.
Can I say something?
We haven't gotten there.
Okay. Can I say something? So I'll just cite an example. So I don't want to mention names now. But there's a particular lady that ran for the governorship election in one of the states. And I remember I sat with her because I wanted to see how we could support her, how we could build like a volunteer network, how we could also raise funds from other women network. I left very confused and very angry. You know what this woman said? The feed before you even have the opportunity to even present yourself. She was like, even if I don't win, at least they will give me something. I wanted to just slap her there. It's to my fellow women, like, women are running for the wrong reason. They're running for clout. There's a particular candidate. She had no business running for office of the president. What is your experience? You are a lawyer by background, right? And secondly, if you really want to make change, go to the National Assembly. Go where you can effect policies. Go where you can really drive change. Go where you can actually advance the representation of women. Go where you can fight for social benefits. Go where you can actually question where our safety net and everything is going into. But then you want the cloud. Now, I heard that in some